Hey, we're both on the swing. It's Thursday. At a park right now. Laughing at my mom playing the drums at the park. Had gymnastics. Hey, I see you, peekaboo! And I was able to get a little bit of work done during gymnastics. I'm not gonna be able to do this video right now though. I'll talk to you later. It's Friday, so yeah, yesterday at the park I tried to do a little thing. I didn't get much drawing done yesterday. I got a little bit done when she was at gymnastics, but her whole class is 45 minutes, so I drew for 20 minutes, maybe 30, but like kind of in and out, off and on, working on the Red Ranger. The homage cover I've been working on, the Forever Red one, it's challenging. It's not hurting me. I'm not frustrated the way I was with the -1 stuff I was doing, because there is a lot more freedom, and I'm like kind of learning and practicing as I go, and so it's like I'm not stuck. But the perspective is a little weird, and the layout's a little weird, and the anatomy's a little weird, and yeah, just following the reference of the actual cover is kind of not the way to go. And so I've been straying more and more from it, even though I started with an almost traced layout, and I think that's the way to go. It's kind of like doing a cover song. Like I always come back to music. You'd think I'm this big musician, which I'm not, but I've never been a fan of let's cover it exactly the way they did it. It's like, well, let's make it a little bit worse or better or faster or sillier, or just, you know, what's the reason for doing this cover beyond, hey, I like this song. And so I guess that's what I'm thinking of. I'm adding characters. I'm at the point now where I'm like, well, should I just make a point of adding every Red Ranger? I don't think that's possible, but you know, anyway, I just dropped my kid off at school. I'm going to try to do what I did the other day where I got like 2 hours. I'm going to go to a coffee shop and, it's kind of cold out. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go to a coffee shop and try to get some work done. I do have to go to Target. Well, I don't have to go to Target. I want to go to Target, to see it. There's these new turtle figures that I've been trying to get. I got 2 of them, but I'm trying to get the other 2. Yeah. And then I got to go to the doctor for me after she gets out of class, just to check up. But, I told her, I'm like, we're going to go to the doctor. She's like, for me? I'm like, no, for me. And just like I always bring you to the doctor and then I have to sit there and wait. Now you sit. Now you wait. Which she'll actually be pretty good about, because she likes going to the doctor and seeing people and places and things. And I bring activities for her, so it'll be fine. But yeah, that's the plan. So it's like not quite 10:30. I haven't been here. I'm leaving the coffee shop. I haven't been here for even 2 hours. I did get a fair amount of work done. A solid hour, maybe more. What I've been doing primarily is redrawing. I had done layouts, and then I had like, at a glance, it was like, oh, these are rough pencils. They're not rough pencils. The proportions are off. The costumes aren't right. So what I've been doing is taking the rough image of each character and sort of turning it into a block figure to get the proportions mostly right and the pose mostly right. Then taking that and putting the costume on it to become my pencils. And I've been doing that figure by figure, and I got a few done here. Some are coming up better than others. Some take longer than others, but that's my process, and I'm not frustrated at all, which is good for me. So, you know, I know what I'm doing, and I'm just doing it, and I just got to get through it. Now, once I get to that, then I go into the inking phase, and at that point, I might be like, ooh, there's some glaring mistakes I have to fix, but I'm trying to just barrel through with that. The reason I stopped, I was feeling in the flow. I was even thinking about getting another coffee and hanging out. It's cold-ish, but not so bad. There's been people around in just the right amount where they're not disturbing me, but it's like kind of a nice atmosphere. There's birds hanging out in the trees, but it's overcast today, which I don't mind. I'd rather that than be sunny, but it's something about the way the light is refracting. Over time, it got worse and worse where I could barely see the screen. I'm like squinting at it. I'm like, I turned my brightness all the way up. This is a downside of using technology instead of a piece of paper, but I was having a hard time seeing. So I'm going to leave now, going to go to Target, go home and try to work some more. That's the hope. I think I talked about this before, but I'm toying with the idea of next week doing a challenge for myself, which is not a big challenge. It's instead of 30 days, 30 minutes a day for 100 days, it's going to be 10 hours in a week, which is quarter time working. You know, on average, 2 days a week, Monday through Friday, but 10 hours by the end of the week is going to be the goal, and see where that gets me. That's my thought for next week. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to Target. I've got a weird emotion all day today. Well, not all day today. Over the last however long, I've had, you know, more, for lack of a better term, depression, anxiety, emotion than ever in my entire life. Sometimes for valid reasons, sometimes for weird reasons, who knows, but usually you can point to it. I've been working extra long and there's been a little bit more stress on me than usual, but generally things have been okay. The kids in daycare, I just went and got a coffee, I did some drawing, everything is kind of fine right now, but I just feel like, I know something in the back of my eye is just sort of like, and I don't know why. So I bought myself a London Fog. I think I'm gonna go to that GameStop and then I'm gonna go home and see what happens. So I bought this Omega figure. She's from the Bad Batch. This is the season 2 one, or maybe season 3. It's the only Bad Batch figure I don't have, and I've been kind of waiting because I figured it would go on clearance or on sale, and it was on sale for like $1 or $2 off, but I started getting worried that I'm going to wait too long and then it's going to be unavailable, especially because the show just ended, and also a little retail therapy, because like I said, I'm feeling kind of emotionally weird. I don't know why, but I'm like, well, I'm going to buy this. Even though the show just ended, by the way, and that last episode was good. It wasn't the best finale I've ever seen, but it certainly didn't ruin the show. It was fine. It was, and then there was like a little post-credit, after action, like here's one little extra scene. And that also made me emotional. So the scene there made me emotional, which made sense kind of. And then today nothing's happening and I'm emotional. So I bought that and it's making me sad, but happy. Today's a weird day. Got home, now I'm leaving home. I realized I hadn't taken a shower in a few days, so I don't tend to stink. Like I don't wear deodorant. I'm not a smelly person, generally speaking. My skin will get a little greasy. Like I've read a thing where like my earwax is dry. That's the thing. People have wet earwax or dry earwax and whatever. I'm not bragging. I got plenty of problems, but body odor isn't one of them, which is good and bad. The bad news side is most people, if they don't shower for a little while, like I need to shower because I stink. Generally I try to shower every other day, but when it gets crazy and busy like it has been, it might be 3-4 days. I'm like, oh, I need to shower. And I only think about it because like, oh, my skin gets a little greasy and my hair gets a little greasy, but not too bad. But I'm like, oh, I'm going to the doctor. They're going to be poking and prodding. I don't want to be disgusting. So I took a shower, brushed my teeth, refreshed up, and then basically it's time to go now. So I'm going to go pick up the kid, go to the doctor. Didn't do any work at home. I keep coming back to, I'm so glad I did work earlier. I wish I could do more work, but I did some work. I want to do more work later, but if I don't, at the end of the day, one of the last things I do before I like sit down and watch TV or go to bed or something is I feed the cats. And when I feed the cats, I always think like, what have I done today? Have I moved the ball? And I'm not talking about taking care of my kid and the house and stuff like that, but bigger art projects, videos, bigger, creative fulfillment or bigger things just that I need to move forward. And it stinks to be like, well, I drew for a half hour or I got one panel kind of slightly redrawn or whatever, but that's infinitely better than nothing. And this is the second or third day I've done nothing. So I worked for about an hour-ish and maybe an hour and a half, depending, but I want to do more. But when I'm doing that cat food later, I'll know that I moved that project forward somewhat, at least. It's Saturday morning. So yesterday, I ended up having to do a little bit of extra work around the house, kid stuff, not artwork, than I thought I would. And found out that I basically have to be on duty all weekend. Normally we split the days. Normally I wouldn't be up early Saturday. But again, because of work things for her, this is where we're at. So I'm not feeling great right now about the situation. And last night, both my wife and my child woke up multiple times throughout the night. So I had a terrible night's sleep. I slept, but I didn't sleep. I lost consciousness several times, but I think I didn't really sleep for any stretch of time until like 4:30 in the morning. And then I slept till about 7:30. So I got like 3 solid hours and a bunch of other smatterings in there. So the good news is I have the green light because work is being terrible and therefore I have to entertain the kid myself for 48 hours essentially. That might change, but that's where we're at right now. So I'm probably going to go out to lunch. Today's Free Comic Book Day and May the 4th. I toyed with the idea of going to Disneyland, which is drivable distance from us. It's pretty expensive, but I could swing it, but I don't think we'll have fun. Just me and her. And I'm tired, and like we'd be leaving at, I don't think we'd get our money's worth. I think we'd have just as much fun going to a park or, a local museum or something like that with the amount of stuff we'd get done. Again, also a weekend is probably crazy busy. So what we're gonna do is have some kind of breakfast, probably watch some TV, and then we'll go out to go to a free comic book day event and get some lunch out, and then just try to, I don't know how I'm going to get any work done this weekend, because even if I have time, my energy is already low, and it's the morning of the first of 2 days. We'll see. It's probably not going to be as bad as I'm making it out to be, but we'll probably have a fine enough day. I'm just tired and didn't expect this to be how my weekend was going to go. What are you doing? You giving me your garbage? Can you say something and not just push it at me? What would you like to say?
Please, throw away the garbage.
Okay. Saturday, hike time. Overcast, breezy, perfect. Not boiling hot.
I'm having a Tootsie Roll that's chocolate.
She's having a Tootsie Roll that's chocolate.
Ooh, if you want.
Oh, it just went in that hole. See it? Yesterday and today, the only art I did, I actually did some back muscle studies because of the one ranger I was having trouble with in the Red Ranger thing. I was like, maybe if I practice muscles in the back, that'll help me. I'm not sure that was what my issue was, but it never hurts to practice muscles in the back. So I did that yesterday and a little bit today. And we're just soldiering on. We're gonna get lunch and make it to the end of this weekend. What's today? Today's Tuesday. An Etsy sale I have to send out, which is good. I had been pretty busy with my Etsy sales last month, and then this month, I think this is the first one I've had all month. Why? Who knows? I was a little bit disappointed that I did my Godzilla -1 piece, put it up on Etsy. The social media response was amazing. On Facebook, on Instagram, just about everywhere, one of my highest engagement ever, and people saying they wanted to buy it, etc. And so I went back and afterwards was like, hey, it's available, and posted the link. But nobody, not one. And that's fine, I'm not upset, but it's just one of those further things like, I don't understand this business. So yesterday, as you could, a minute ago I showed you, I was in the ER, not for me, for Tech Advisor Urzuki. She's fine. Dizziness, heart stuff, things that have happened before, things to get tested for, and they're like, we can't find what's wrong, and it's that, it's like, okay, cool, but everything's fine, she's fine, but it's probably most likely due to overwork and stress because she's been working nonstop, which is why I've been working nonstop. But after her working her job all weekend and me watching the kid all weekend, we then basically spent yesterday all day at the ER, just getting tests and waiting for things. And that was supposed to be the big break for both of us. I mean, we both still would have to do stuff that day. But anyway, so yesterday was a bit of a wash. I did work at the ER a little bit on my iPad, and we were there for hours, but it was just like, I don't know, I couldn't get myself to do anything. I mean, it's not exactly the environment for it, but I did try working on one of the characters giving me trouble in the Red Ranger print. So, I don't know. Anyway, today's a new day. Kids going to school, and we'll see what I get done. All right, drop the kid off at preschool, and I'm gonna go to one of my coffee places. I don't think I'm gonna start drawing immediately. I have so much stuff to do. Wait, what am I doing today? Oh, later on I have to go to the dentist, but no, I have to schedule doctor's appointments. The other thing is, this weekend coming up is Tech Advisor Urzuki's birthday and Mother's Day, which I have to do twice for my mother and now the mother of my child. And I am ill prepared. I think I have cards, and I last minute ordered a gift for my mom. So actually my mom, in terms of card and gift, is covered. But I gotta get presents. I gotta get Mother's Day present, and I gotta get a birthday present, and I haven't gotten either. I also am not sure if she wants a cake or not, but I don't want to ask her. And because she's been so stressed out, it's like, well, do you want to go out to eat? Do you want to have a nice day? Or do you want to just sit home and do nothing, which is probably the thing. And I don't know, those plans are all up in the air. And it's this weird thing of like, I don't want to like seem like I don't care and I'm not trying, but I also just don't know what I'm supposed to do. Excuse me. So, but I have to schedule some blood work for myself and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, the point is, I am going to get my coffee and my avocado toast, because I'm a Gen X millennial who's wasting my money on avocado toast. And then I'm going to do some like paperwork and phone calls and like life stuff then try to get some artwork done, and then take a run to Target to pick up a few things, also look at toys, and then go home and hopefully have time to shave and shower before I have to pick her up. That's the plan. I just realized this week was the big week where I was going to try to work at least 10 hours a week, and did I fail that? I was gonna say, I definitely failed it already. The idea was to try to work 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day during the week. And did I fail that already? I was gonna say yesterday was the ER and blah, blah, but I did actually do some work. I did not time it. Maybe an hour working on that character. I mean, probably at least an hour. So I guess I could still try to soldier through with this. We'll see what happens. Another nice day. It's been a good mix of sort of sunny, but a little bit breezy, so that it's kind of chilly in the morning, and then by the afternoon it gets a little warm. And we're still in the mid-May, beginning mid-May, and I know it's gonna go away, so I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as I can. I was thinking about that because I love coming here after I drop her off, but in another month or two, even at 8 in the morning, I don't know if I'll be able to sit out in the sun like this. We'll see. All right, it's 10 o'clock. I was here for an hour and a half. Didn't accomplish everything. Wow, was I really here for an hour and a half? I guess so. I didn't accomplish everything I wanted to, but I got some stuff done. I did have this one issue that I think we've all been familiar with, where I filled out some paperwork online to book an appointment. And then it's like, oh, okay, thanks for doing that. Now could you just fill out all this other stuff, which is mostly the same stuff, but in a different form? And I'm like, cool. And then at the end of it, we're like, we need your insurance card. Can you send us a picture, not just the info? And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I exited, took a picture. When I went back in, all the forms have been cleared. So I said, well, we're done with this for now. And I'm going to Target. Also did not draw at all. So it's Wednesday. I'm at the vet. I've head in to try to do a little bit of work because I knew there'd be a point where they take Uzi to get blood work, and that's what's happening now. I'm still struggling with the same stupid figure. I should have moved on, but I didn't. And this is gonna be my final version until my final version. I'm gonna move on after this. The whole thing of doing the extra work, the extra 10 hours of work, the extra work, that's so sad and ridiculous. But the whole concept of that is blown out of the water because today I had to bring the cats to the vet, which I forgot about. And then I got a new therapist, which I haven't had a therapist in a while, and I have to meet them at 11 and then pick up the kid at 12. And then after independent play, we have to go to a new school, and there's just a lot going on today. And then tomorrow, it's the best laid plans of mice and men mean nothing to Godzilla. But we'll keep trying. Yeah, just dropped her off. It's been a little bit of a rough time. But she does like her school, which is nice. So it's Friday, so she's going to preschool. Oh, let me turn that off. So I'm gonna go over to the coffee. I haven't had breakfast. I did actually have a coffee, but I'm gonna go get some breakfast and a cappuccino. Maybe do a little, for lack of a better term, paperwork, trying to make appointments and things like that. I want to go to Target. I forget, I need something there that I forget, and then I'll look at the toys. I have not done a good job working on art. I have been stuck on this SPD Red Ranger as part of the Red Ranger print thing for embarrassing. I haven't been getting a lot of time in, and when I have been getting in, I've just been redrawing the same one, which is now to the point where, okay, I think if I keep redrawing it, I'm going to be getting, 2% better for 30 minutes of drawing, and that's when you got to kind of stop. I should have stopped a long time ago. I'm not happy about the whole situation, but I'm going to try to work on that. Aside from not having time, I haven't had energy mentally, physically, emotionally, but I've also been not motivated to work on it for a variety of reasons, but probably the primary one is, I've talked about this before, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in that point where, like, I don't know how to draw. Does perspective, anatomy, I don't know, proportions, I just forget it all, and so it's hard to keep coming back to that, whereas I started working on the next figure, and it's going better, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I got a little bit of enthusiasm back to get going with that. But it's just, it's a bit of a bummer of like, okay, I've got a couple hours here. I'm going to go try to work on it, but I got other stuff I got to do. And then I got to come get her. And then I'm probably going to be on duty late again tonight. And then this weekend is birthday and Mother's Day, and I don't know what we're doing. I'm ill prepared for all of them. Not all through my fault, because I haven't been given really direction a lot, and it's yeah. There's a lot going on, but there's nothing going on. You know what I mean? It's all privileged first world problem stuff, but it's just, I feel like it's been going on for a while. Like, there's been ups and downs. The last, let's say, 5 years have been the hardest of my life, which, again, I have a privileged life, so compared to other people, it's like boo-hoo me, but it's been up and down and up and down, and there have been worse times for sure, but I'd say since October has just been a little tough. And it's not that it's the worst ever, but it's unrelenting. It just keeps, it's like a pressure cooker. It's just, if I get a little relief, then right back down. And it's hard to care about creating art. It's hard to care about my Power Rangers show. It's hard to care about, I got to do this. The only reason I owe people this stuff. They gave me money, I owe them this stuff. So they're like, it's forcing me to do this. If not, I might still draw, but I might just be doing doodly stuff of like my old OCs or something like that. I want to be working on the horror. But yeah, it's hard to care about a lot of stuff right now. It's hard, everything. I'm not quite nihilist. I am a bit of a nihilist. Like, I'm very optimistic, but there's a little piece of me, especially the older I get, that's just like, well, none of this really matters. And in a way, that's helpful, because it lets me let a lot of stuff slide off my back. Like, who cares? This doesn't matter, and I can get through life, and I'm generally positive, one foot in front of the other. But if I think about it too much, it's like, well, none of this does matter. Nobody cares about my art. I'll be dead. Everyone I know will be dead. Everyone they know will be dead. And in 100 or 2 years, it'll be like this didn't exist. We're ancient Greece, where 2 or 3 of the most famous are remembered and stories are mistold, and and then on a long enough timeline, the Earth is gone, and so I don't dwell in that. I do think it's true. I don't like it, but I don't think that. I still think we should try to do our best while we're here and improve our lives and our happiness and that of our fellow humans and the world and animals, and like, we should still do a good job. This still matters in the now. It just won't matter in the long term. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is I'm going to go get coffee and try to force myself to draw. Car, but an hour or two later, went to the coffee. I spent a good hour drawing. They have music at this place I've talked about, and I often don't like it. It's country music and other stuff that I just don't particularly like, but sometimes I put headphones on. But I also like when there are people there, and I just listen. It's like people watching, but it's people listening. Am I eavesdropping? Kind of, but they're sitting right next to me talking loudly in public. I don't think it's, and they're just talking about all kinds of stuff. But I like listening to it almost like a podcast. And just the stuff people say around here is wild. The stuff they believe and don't believe and think, and just their attitude. It's just wild. It's very entertaining. But anyway, I did about an hour of work. I don't feel great about it. I don't feel terrible about it. I basically finished up one of the figures that I started, did a whole nother figure, and started a third one. Slow going, but I did some work. Now I'm going to go to Target, go home. I have just under 2 hours till I have to pick up the kid. So I'm going to go to Target, and I'm going to go home and maybe do more drawing at home, but experience tells me no more will get done this part of the day, but we'll see. It's almost 11 o'clock. This is taking longer than I thought. I'm getting more groceries than I realized, and I had to pick up some last minute birthday stuff. I did find a set of the turtles I've been looking for, which is nice, but yeah, I don't even know if I'll have time to go home. Well, I didn't do any more work. I just did about a half hour of work now. Yeah. So something, that's twice today I drew. Maybe an hour and a half total, maybe a little more. Disappointing, but not as disappointing as the last few days. So, solution: Dunkin' Donuts? Probably not, but a little bit of dopamine hit'll be nice. Serotonin, not caffeine, but sugar.